If you're trying to get your arms from spaghetti status to udon noodle status, this is how you do it. Now I completely understand, I do not have 20-inch C-bum arms, but over the years using these 3 tips, I was able to take what is a very weak point and make it into a stronger point. I'm also going to show you my top exercises, and I'll give you the 2 workout splits and programs that I personally use to help grow my arms a lot quicker. So stick around. First tip is going to be positions of flexion. Now honestly, this is something that I wish that I focused on a little bit earlier. So it has been shown in studies that training our muscles in the lengthened position may help to increase more muscle growth. All this means for the arms is training our triceps in this position here, where our elbow is above our shoulder. Think about overhead extensions, skull crushers, things like that. And all this means for the biceps is training them in this position here, where our elbow is behind our torso. So things like incline dumbbell curls and incline cable curls. Pretty simple, right? We don't need to overcomplicate it. So just make sure that in your program, it doesn't have to be in the same session, but across the week, you are training your biceps and your triceps in that stretch position. Tip 2, volume and frequency. Now all this simply means is how often do we train arms and how many sets per arms? How many sets do we do for arms each week? The biggest mistake I see with guys when they're trying to grow their arms is their program looks something like this. Now I know I write like a 2-year-old, but just stay with me. Now the reason that when I see a program like this, I know for a fact why arms aren't growing is because usually this means that for starters, the arms are only getting trained once per week. The second thing is they're also getting trained at the end of another? What is going on with my brain? Hold on. The second thing is because they're getting trained at the end of another muscle group. And as you can see, if it's at the end of chest or the end of a back day, you're gonna be pretty fried by the time you get to arms. So let's be real, you probably end up hitting them with maybe 3 to 6 measly sets half-assed. So if you're doing that and you're wondering why your arms still represent a spaghetti noodle, that's why. And once my little brain kind of figured that out, I quickly changed, and these were the 2 best things that worked for me. Honestly, when I swapped to this, I saw pretty much night and day difference in the size of my arm growth. First thing I did was I swapped to a push-pull legs program. That way the arms are getting hit twice per week, every single week. Pro tip, if you're really struggling to grow the arms, don't put the biceps and triceps at the end of the push and pull workout. Put them at least in the middle or somewhere more towards the start. That works really nicely. The other thing I did was I would put biceps and triceps at the end of another muscle group, like this example, but I planned it a little bit better. And then I would also have a completely separate day just for arms. That way they were still getting hit twice per week, and they were getting hit with a lot of volume and a lot of intensity, AKA I was able to put full friggin' effort into the arms and actually get them to grow. I know some people hate on a full arm day and say, oh, you can't do arms. But if you are lagging in the arm department, like you probably are because you're watching this video, then I would highly recommend trying that second option, because having a full arm day allows you to hit them with that full intensity. And if you've never trained arms fresh before, like they're always at the end of the session, you always hit them when you're a little bit fatigued, this will be a game changer. So there's a few good options for you there. Just make sure that you're training arms more than once per week and you're not just tacking them on to the end of a workout. Tip 3 is progressive overload and avoiding this common mistake. Progressive overload basically means to lift more weight, do more reps, or add more sets to your workout over time. But with progressive overload, you need to avoid this massive mistake. And honestly, it's something that I wish I didn't do. And that's changing your exercises way too often. If you're changing your exercises all the time, and especially on a weekly basis, you don't actually ever know if you're progressing or not. And especially if you're changing the order of the exercises. And that's because each exercise has a different difficulty level. For example, a standing dumbbell curl, I could rep the 20s for sets of 10 to 12. I could rep the 20s for a good set of 10 to 12, but when it comes to an incline dumbbell curl, 15 kg each arm, and I'm absolutely cooked. And like I mentioned, if you're continually changing the order of the exercises and your program as well, it's gonna make it insanely hard to track. That same example, if I was to do the standing dumbbell curls first, 20 kgs, no problem, and then the incline curls, 15 kgs, no problem. But if I swap that around and I did the incline curls first, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to hit that 20 kg standing dumbbell curl for the same amount of reps. That's simply just because fatigue will kick in and you'll be gassed. So just keep that in mind when you're writing your new program or changing things around. And in my honest experience, the longer you can continue to do a movement in your program, the better. I know it gets boring and you have to fight that optimal versus enjoyable kind of balance that we always speak about, but honestly, when it comes to arms, all of it's pretty fun, apart from incline dumbbell curls with drop sets. Fuck that. Time for a few bonus tips and then my go-to exercises and programs, I promise. The first bonus tip is gonna be no junk volume, AKA make sure that the sets you're doing for arms actually count. Like if you can get another 3 or more reps, that's a good rule of thumb I like to use. Don't count that set, it wasn't hard enough. The second is gonna be form and technique. Now you've probably heard me babble on about this before, but it's so overlooked. Now, if you're throwing that weight up and your front delts are pretty much taking all the work, and when you put the weight down, your biceps or your triceps, whatever you're training, isn't absolutely on fire, and you're doing something wrong. Number 3 is gonna be consistency in tracking. Again, so simple, but so overlooked. This is like going to get your morning coffee and the nice cafe lady says, would you like a free donut with that? Or would you like an almond croissant on the house? And you say, nah, I'm good, thanks. Actually crazy how many people don't track the reps that they're doing and the weight that they're lifting. So these are my go-to arm exercises and program splits that have helped me put the most mass on my arms over the years. So programs, a push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs, day 2, rest and repeat. The next one, chest and back, then legs, then shoulders and arms, rest, and then repeat with the second day of each. And as a bonus tip, what I like to do on that second day is hit the movements that you didn't hit on the first day. So for example, with the shoulders and arms, if you hit incline curls and maybe hammers, then on the second, you could put a preacher curl training in the shortened position and a regular dumbbell or barbell curl training in the mid range position. The next one is a upper lower rest, upper lower second day with an arm focus on each upper body day. The next one is a push legs pull and then a full arm day. Now that is a 4-day program, but if you have very good recovery, you could do 4 days on, 1 day off, 4 days on, 1 day off. I did that in a bulking phase and it was pretty painful, but it was very good. Now there are a ton more, but hopefully that's a few to get you started. And just remember what we talked about in tip 2. Okay, moving on to the exercises. For the biceps, I love hammer curls with either dumbbells or rope on the cables. These also help to work the forearms and this part of the bicep here, which helps to give your arm that nice thick look. Incline dumbbell or incline cable curls to work them in that stretch position like we spoke about. Then some where your elbows are in front of your body, like a preacher curl. My personal favorite is a cable single arm preacher curl. I just find on these, you can just manipulate your body to hit them in that perfect angle, this constant tension the whole time. And these are literally like the dumbbell Bulgarian split squat of arm day. They're so good for you, but they fucking suck. And then of course, regular curls are always going to be great. But if you have trouble keeping strict form, I also love the supported curl where you brace your triceps into a pad, like the knee pad on a lat pull down. Highly recommend trying this one. It's going to humble you real quick. So for the triceps, I love a simple tricep push down. My favorite is to do these single arm with a handle. You can just slide your hand in, or even a cuff works really well. If you can't find that, use a rope like this. Tying a knot in it simply just makes it a little bit shorter and usually allows you to get better range of motion. Now, that feels pretty epic on the triceps as well. So if you're short on time, you can do these as cross-body extensions using both arms at the same time. These are really good, but you have to have the right cable setup. If you have one of those really wide cable setups, this isn't going to work. Regular rope pushdowns using a long rope or 2 ropes so you can get a full extension. But of course, if your gym only has 2 ropes in the entire gym, don't be that asshole that uses both of them. And then to train them in that stretch position like we spoke about, my favorite is going to be an overhead cable extension. I like both variations of these where you have the cable set at shoulder height like this, and I also love the variation of setting the cables at waist height and doing them like this. The best part about these is you can do them single arm or both at the same time, and either variation seems to nail the triceps perfectly. Now, of course, your heavy compound movements like bench press, dips, overhead press, pull-ups, all those things are going to be using the arms as well, but those are my specific favorites to absolutely isolate and nail the arms perfectly. So that's how I took my arms from spaghetti arms to udon noodle status. And if you want to pair this arm training with a full body recomposition guide, aka building muscle, losing fat at the same time, I'd highly recommend checking out this video here.